Jorginho slowly got eased in this season. I like the fact that everyone's doing what they need to do. If we was in negative form and players were a bit woeful and stuff and we're relying on one player, it's a bit different. Maybe we can ease, well, Jesus probably going to be eased in anyways. I don't know when his first start will come, but it means that you don't necessarily have to start straight away. We can kind of, as much as you can say, take your time, because we're at the decisive point of the season, somewhat take your time with the lad, really and truly. But it's good. It's good. We've got good problems. We've shown right now we can cope with injuries. Sometimes it's been kinder than not. You know, we've kind of somewhat coped with. We have missed Jesus, but we've coped when Partey's been injured. We've coped with Jesus, and there's been a couple of others. And it's a squad game, you know. Many years, you know, even big up Arteta, but even Arteta and Edu, it's like we felt sorry for ourselves with injuries and kind of assumed that this is unique to Arsenal. Injuries are part and parcel. Loss of form is part and parcel of the game. As Arteta said, it's impossible to assume someone from August is going to be doing what they're doing in May, unless you're Lionel Messi and people of that. Definitely not these young players as great as they are and whatever they're doing, really and truly. You know, even Smith Rowe and Saka last season, they were fantastic, but they kind of fell off towards the end. And I think that's reflected in the fact of Saka was quality last year as he is now. He's basically done his goal tally. He got 11 last year. He's on 10 now. Can you get 20? 20 goals, 10 assists. 20 goals, 20 assists. The same goes for everybody else playing in them positions, because we're playing enough football to show you can do it. Probably unrealistic to think everyone's going to do it, but that should be the aim. That should be the aspiration. But a fit Gabriel Jesus, he plays for me, but we probably have to take our time, man. I don't want to rush a man back and then you're not ready, because, you know, it's a decisive period of football in April. We've got some tricky fixtures. Obviously, we're now firmly at the business end. We've done the hard part from August until December until February/March. March, let's just focus until April. April and May, don't let all the hard work you've done, you know, it's squeaky bum time, like Ferguson used to say. Just get it done. But it's good problems. And a good question, keep them coming. So Jesus, when fit, and Trossard / Martinelli, be dropped. That's a good timestamp, people, and a good thought-provoking question. One love. I want to see more of Trossard in the 9, I can't lie. Games like that, I'm for it. Low blocks, games we're going to have a lot of possession. We need that, but there will naturally be games where we need a bit more physical, man. There's been times early in games this season, and probably like Everton, where it's worked. But one would think, you know, because they were kind of frustrating us, forcing our attacking players backwards. We're retaining possession, but not really harming them. One did think, can we have that luxury of being a bit more direct? You know, I don't want to play like how Klopp used to play, but when Robertson and Trent, when they just spam crosses in, if we had a target man potentially just in the squad, maybe that's another gear that could help us, really. But I think Trossard deserves to play. I think he's bided his time. I think, you know, initially he was a sub player, getting little man minutes. He took his opportunities. When he started, he's done quite well. You know, doing what you're doing, holding on to your place. And this is what we need. And it's been a cute addition in January. Yeah, Arteta wanted Mudryk and things. And I don't want to rule out Mudryk, because if Arteta and Edu were that convinced to shell out the potential bag they was, then that was your first target. But the way it's looking for him right now, you know, we've dodged the bullet. Not that we would have had to even rely on Mudryk, but we've dodged the bullet. Trossard has hit the ground running just like Jorginho. And I must admit, obviously, the winter signings have just signed. Smash the like button, people. Big up the 300 of you locked in across Twitch and YouTube. I must admit, obviously, it's too early, but I don't know which one is January signing of the season. I'm probably leaning towards Trossard a bit more, but Jorginho in the last couple of games has been quality. Summer signing, I don't know yet, because you asked me in the first few months of the season, it's probably Gabriel Jesus, and to a degree, I still believe it somewhat is. But then you're seeing what Zinchenko is doing. I'm Tierney FC. I don't want Tierney to leave. But once your eyes are open to what Zinchenko brings to that table in that left back, false centre mid role, big up Tierney, because he done well to come off the bench and kind of play that. It's difficult to go back to a traditional left back. But there is going to be times where we just need to defend. Everyone's got weaknesses. Sometimes there might not be occasions. You know, you look at Man United away. You know, the Zinchenko thing let us down because he weren't aware of Anthony. Everyone's got strengths and weaknesses, man. We just need to keep going. Easily Zinchenko, I can't lie. I think if Jesus is fit and ready to go, we could use him on the left with Trossard in the striker doing the interchange. I mean, them man there could interchange, just like Martinelli and Jesus were doing, just like Eddie and Jesus were doing in pre-season. I'd prefer to start Trossard on the left and Jesus out wide, and, you know, you occupy the gaps, because as we know, Jesus never stops running. He plays like a traditional striker. He goes to the channels. He helps defensively. He's all action. For wingers, 10 goals and 10 assists, or even a bit lower, is very good. If Jesus was playing, he would have reached 10, I reckon. I want obviously, Jesus has missed a lot of games. But you have the capacity to score 20 league goals for this football club. I don't think you do it now, but you need to do that. It's there for the taking. Jesus needs to earn his spot back. I hear that. Mathematically safe from relegation, baby steps. Jesus is like Eddie plus Trossard in one. I can't wait for his return. Respect him a bit. No, I'm playing. I think Martinelli on the left is a tricky one, interchanging well lately, but his lack of time of a pass is worrying. Trossard did it versus Leicester and Everton easily. I mean, Trossard is, in terms of over 90 minutes, he's more clever than Martinelli. Martinelli's decision making can improve 100%, like you saw against Everton. You know, I think what kind of harms Martinelli is what his biggest strengths are. He's all action, he's tenacious. It's kind of one gear with him. And like Arteta said last year, he needs to learn to not do things at 100 miles per hour. But watching the game again, off the ball, making them man runs were harming them. Trossard's a bit more cuter with it, and a bit more, his tactical IQ is a bit more cleverer. So generally, if you're judging them at their worst, probably Trossard's going to give you more of an effective performance. But Martinelli's infectious. It's good problems to have, man. Very good problems. We prayed for times like this. Remember when Unai Emery was playing Mesut Ozil and Mkhitaryan as our wingers? We prayed for times like this, man. If Smith Rowe can stay fit, he needs to transition to left centre mid, same as Vieira, so he can play both sides. I mean, we kind of saw that towards the end of the game. I'm not giving up on Smith Rowe, man. I refuse. You know, look what he did for us last year, and Dons are just snaking him. I can't lie, YouTube, you're violating, man. There's 272 of you, and we still haven't cleared 100 likes. To the 64 people that have, one love. Every game at this stage is crucial, but I'm marking my calendar for City and Liverpool away. 2 stadiums we can't seem to win at. I think it's time we break one of those curses. Yeah, man, it's time. We didn't do it at St. Mary's in Southampton. We didn't do it at Old Trafford. It's time, man. We did it at Brighton. You know, our away form has been good, man, and that's why we need to take advantage of this season. It just feels like everything is falling into place for us, from pre-season to the signings to everything we're doing all over the pitch, to when the fixtures are coming, how we're dealing with them, to how we're reacting. It just feels like it's our time to achieve something. Whether we're able to do that, I don't know. Saliba summer signing. I mean, Saliba's been a good signing, but weren't he signed in 2019? I think VAR's got to have a look at that one. I think you got to be signed in 2022. Really, who knows? In years to come, we might look at Fabio Vieira and say, "Boy, he's the guy." Deluded. If we add Declan Rice and Sterling to our team with what we have already, I think we are ready for the Champions League. Champions League's a different ball game because you look at some of our games this season where we've done well. Don't get it twisted. But if you look at the United game, elements of the Brighton game, elements of the Leicester game at home, elements of Villa, the margins only get higher and higher. You might not get away with these things. So we're going to have to go up the levels. And the better we're doing as a football club, we're going to have to make some harsh decisions. I want Tierney to stay, for example. The other day, 2021, did he not sign a new deal? Was one of our captains. Mikel said he's vital to our team and happy to see him for years, which I hope happens. But to go to the next stage, Zinchenko was an option available. We signed him. There might come a time where that question has to be had over Granit Xhaka. I'm forcing it, but over Martin Odegaard, over the centre-backs. We've got to be cruel to be kind to ourselves, maybe even over Benjamin White. I'm not saying these. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Just because people have helped us now don't mean they can always be there. For me, it's Zinni. He's not just inverted. He progresses the ball with the pass and dribble as well as defends well enough too. Big up yourself, George. Next week is Champions League business. Wow. Today we're watching El Clasico, though. But you're all right, man, with what you said, Fuad. Every game is crucial. And there's been a lot of, not so much yesterday, but there's been some emotional games of football already, really. If he was to say the names, it's probably not. But United was a dramatic game. Leeds away was dramatic. Villa at home and away was dramatic. To a degree, West Ham, Fulham at home. There's plenty of them. Football's a mad game in a negative way. Man United away, Everton away as well. To be fair, St. Mary's, Goodison Park, Old Trafford, kind of the hoodoo grounds. Can we, I'll accept the L's there or the dropping points there, provided, especially at Anfield. I want to win at Anfield. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of going there and saying at least we conceded 1 and not 2. I'm tired of it, man. If we can't beat Liverpool this year with what they're doing, we're in issues. Most underrated signing for me is Turner. Whenever he puts on the shirt, he's been excellent. First time in years I felt comfortable swapping goalkeepers. Also, Terry's great for morale behind the scenes. It is difficult to find the number 2 because You know, nobody wants to sit on the bench. It's difficult to find a number 2. I weren't really waiting Matt Turner's thing at first. I think he had a horrible game in one Europa League game. He bounced back in the second. World Cup, he really convinced me. And against City in the FA Cup, I'm like, all right, cool, you're the guy now. You know, if you listen to some of the American podcasts and journalists and all of them, they keep saying Matt Turner has to leave. He might not play for America, blah, 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 and all of these. So it might be one to watch, but we're doing all right. We can beat Liverpool. We've done it already. Whether we do is another thing. Props to Gabriel. Couple of mistakes early on. A good part of the fan base turning on him deserves so much praise. Amen. Big up DG joining a little late. Can you imagine Trossard playing in Chelsea or worse, Nando's FC? We need to really big up Eddie. You know, it's a true addition. I mean, you know, we have to thank Trossard's agent. He came out the other day and said I offered him to Arsenal. Arsenal obviously couldn't get Mudryk. You've made something happen, rightly or wrongly, innit, really. If he joined Chelsea right now, he wouldn't have banged, innit? Not a single attacking player is really thriving at Chelsea. Spurs, it would have been a good signing for Spurs, I feel. Very smart signing. I think, well, he wants to play off the left, innit? I think Spurs would have that would have been good options. Son, Kane, Kulusevski, and Trossard. Whether that means moving Kulusevski in the 10 or starting Trossard there or starting Trossard as a false 9, who knows? And in reality, you know, Son's always available on the counter attack. Harry Kane drops into the number 10. Trossard probably could have indirectly been the false 9 for their club. Definitely would have been a better signing than Richarlison. I heard he ain't scored yet in the league. Boy, I see Lisandro Martinez at United. I've seen Saliba knock it in. You know, if I had to bet money, boy, Benjamin, if Richarlison keeps messing about, Benjamin White might grab a goal before him. I don't know. Maybe even Ramsdale. Crazy. Wouldn't let that happen to me, no. I'll take a 6 point. I'll take the 6 point at the Etihad. I'm on my knees.